much as you can, okay?
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna contact your occiput and rotate your head. Now drop your head in the palm of my hand. Good. Okay, relax for me. Relax. Relax, relax. A little bit more. There we go. Good. Create motion. This is the occiput, this is the upper cervicals, and that's the area we're targeting. Occiput, C1, C2, this area here. Okay? So you've never been adjusted before? Mm-mm. The key is to relax as much as you can, okay? All right, I have to get on top of the table. Okay. I want you to slide forward for me. Perfect. I am going to contract your occiput. I'll put you into some slight rotation. Drop your head in the palm of my hand and relax for me. Relax. Relax a little bit more.
Oh, that felt so good. The first question is, where are you from?
Okay, so originally I was born in Haiti, and I came to the US when I believe I was around 8 or 9 or so.
And why did you choose chiropractic?
Well, I had an injury. I used to play soccer. I don't know if you know what a bicycle kick is. Basically, when you jump up and kick, and you're supposed to land on your back, but I ended up landing on my neck. So I've tried everything. I saw different medical providers, got medications. It helped somewhat, but I couldn't get the relief that I needed. And someone basically suggested chiropractic care. Then I saw a chiropractor, and he was the only one that was able to help me. So from that point on, I said, well, that's what I do, chiropractic.
Okay, that's a great story. What is your educational background?
So I have a bachelor's in physiology and neurobiology, and of course, a chiropractic degree.
Chiropractic school did you attend and why?
Initially, I attended Life University in Georgia. Then I transferred to Logan. And mainly, it's mainly because of the curriculum. I was impressed with what they offered. So I attended Logan and graduated from Logan.
Okay. How was your chiropractic experience at school, especially being a minority?
Um, for the most part, it was okay. At Logan, obviously we didn't have a lot of African American students at Logan, but for the most part, I had a great experience. I'm nothing to complain about, really and truly.
Well, that goes into my next question. So, as an African American doctor, how was your experience in the healthcare field?
Well, as a minority, I'll say this: it definitely has its difficulties. Being in healthcare as a minority, and I don't know where to start, to be honest with you. Access, whether it's financial access. For instance, when I started my clinic, um, I was denied several times as far as bank loans are concerned. So I had to borrow from family members and so forth. Even chiropractic guys in general,
Right.
African Americans were basically 3% of the industry. And also education and educating the public. African Americans are not really aware of what we do. They don't understand what chiropractors do. Even my clinic, I opened it in Southeast Washington, D.C., which is an underserved area, and it's in an African American based community. And my main reason was to educate the African American community and expose them to chiropractic.
Question is, what is some advice that you know now that you wish someone told you while matriculating through chiropractic school?
Okay, so in chiropractic school, I focused mainly on the academics of everything. However, I think students need to have a reality check. Most students think, well, I'm going to graduate chiropractic school, I'm going to come out and start my own practice and I'll do well. Some people do. I'm doing pretty well right now.
Right.
But that saying, if you build it, they will come. That is so untrue. When you start your clinic, you have to constantly market yourself. And you have to provide good service. You have to know how to deal with people. So there are several things that as a student, we weren't taught that, no one told us, hey,
marketing is important, or, where are you going to get your patients from? So we focus mainly on the academic aspect of everything, and we didn't get any education on the business side of everything.
Okay.
So definitely more business related type courses, I think, should be offered in chiropractic school.
Yeah, they definitely say that a lot going to life. They always say business, like we need more business classes. So I definitely agree with that.
Right.
And after graduating from Logan, did you start off with your own practice or did you start off as an associate? And how was your experience?
Well, actually, it's a long story, but I'll try to shorten it for you. So yeah, I graduated from Logan. I got an associate position with two chiropractors, and unfortunately, it didn't work out. When I say it didn't work out, they had a dispute among themselves for financial reasons. So I came into work one week, and the following week, the clinic was closed. So yeah, at that point in time, I had to decide whether, I try and get another associate position, or do I purchase the clinic? So I purchased the clinic. And like, as I mentioned earlier, I got denied, from several banks. So I had to borrow money from, friends and family. And those years were absolutely horrifying. It was a constant battle. My accounts were constantly negative. I couldn't pay my employees. It took several years for me to even break even. You
Yeah.
know, fortunately, I kept going. I was driven, and now, I own several locations, and we're doing pretty well for the most part. But those years were extremely hard. The first several years.
Well, congratulations on your multiple locations. I know that's a great achievement from where you started from.
Absolutely.
I know this wasn't, do you recommend like when going into business with other chiropractors to make sure you just know everything that you could possibly know about them? Because I've have heard like horror stories about, going into practice with other chiropractors and, things get tied up in courts over divorces and things like that. So,
Yes, absolutely. You should know who you are going into business with.
mhm,
It's basically like a marriage, really and truly.
yeah.
Um, if you don't know the person, if you're not comfortable with the person, that can definitely be a problem. Uh, as you know, once people start to talk about money or manage money, attitudes do change. So you definitely have to know the person. Also, you have to cross your T's, dot your I's. If you have a contract, make sure it's written by an attorney. Bring everything to the table. Like, this person's going to do this person is responsible for that. That way, there is no confusion whatsoever. So it's very important if you go into a partnership that you really think about it before go into that type of partnership.
What did you name your practice and why did you name it that?
Okay, so my practice is the name is Pain and Rehab Center. I
Okay.
know a lot of chiropractors will name their practices like Joe Chiropractic, like their last name in chiropractic. Well, I have a different approach. I'm mainly pain based. Okay, so majority of my patients have pain. I see personal injury patients and they have acute pain. We do a lot of YouTube and Instagram, so a lot of people who are coming to see me, they are also in pain.
Yeah.
So pain, hence the word pain, and rehab for rehabilitating and rehabilitation, pain and rehab center. And we also have, other providers. So we have medical providers, we have physical therapists who work for us, we have massage therapists. So we have different providers, and it's basically a pain clinic, is what it is.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay, great. And how long have you been practicing for?
It's going on 15 years now.
Okay, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
It's still going.
All right.
I know, like they say, a lot of chiropractors get burnt out. What do you keep yourself from doing to not get to that point where you're so burnt out?
Well, I think it depends on the person. Personally, I'm just a driven person. I love working and I love chiropractic. Now, if you go into the field and it's not something you really want to go into, obviously you may not be able to handle the workload. You know, even now, even till this day, there are some days where I'll work 7 days a week, 7 days per week, but I don't mind, that type of workload because
Yeah.
I enjoy what I do. So, actually, some days I'm like, well, I wish I had more hours in the day, to work even more. Um, so the burnout part of it, I think um, sometimes the personal factors, play into that.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are going through tough times, whether it's divorce, have kids, family, and then you put work on top of that, then that definitely can create that burnout factor that we all hear about. But me personally, I don't really have that problem.
Are you certified in any special techniques like ICPA, upper cervical, Gonstead?
I use a diversified technique, but as far as certification, I do have a, DOT certification
Mhm.
with the Department of Transportation. So I used to do DOT physicals. I'm still certified to do it, but I've been so busy with adjusting patients that I no longer do the DOT physicals. But that's the additional certification that I have.
Yeah, I heard that was really good to do. A doctor that I interned out here for, she does DOT physicals, and she was like, when you finish school, do get certified in doing DOT physicals because that's extra income.
It is because what happens is that the drivers have to get recertified, every so often. So you start to build a base. Most people who come to you for their first exam will more than likely come to you again.
Right.
So if you've been doing DOT physical for 2, 3, 4 years, you're basically just building up on that base.
Mhm.
So it's definitely a good source of income or additional income. Yeah.
Okay. And of course, you said the techniques you use is diversified, modified. Now, I know every patient is different. So, do you have other techniques or other movements that you do with when it comes to adjusting different patients? Because I know with
Right.
therapies, it may not take with different shape, like
Different.
sizes and shapes of people.
Right. So some of the techniques, is slightly Gonstead based, so kind of like a mixture of Gonstead and diversified. But as you start to practice, you will develop your own style of adjusting. So it's basically you learn how to adjust in school. And when you start adjusting, like you said, people are different anatomy, or different sizes. You will learn your own flow, your own technique, your own style, of adjusting. But for the most part, it is a diversified type technique.
Okay. And what would you say is your favorite aspect about practicing? Like, what do you love most about practicing?
I just love adjusting. I just love seeing patients. With chiropractic, it's different. With all the other medical fields, you write a medication, patient feels well, and they thank you later. But with chiropractic, you actually you can see this instant gratification. So I have a patient come in and they're in pain and they're not able to move their neck, or they're not able to move his or her back because she lifted something. And you do an x-ray, make sure there are no contraindications, and then you adjust that patient and they feel better and they get up, and it's like, wow. So I love that part. Even with my Instagram videos that I usually post, and people will DM me, say, oh man, I need to come see you because I saw the reaction of this person, that's the reaction of that person. So I love adjusting people, like when I'm starting to adjust, or checking for that motion, and looking for restrictions and things of that nature. I just love it. I just love it, adjusting. That's what I love to do.
Of course, what type of practice are you?
Well, we're mixed, in every sense of the word. Uh, we're mixed as far as the type of practice, because we have personal injury.
Mhm.
I see wellness patients. I see pain patients. Um, I'm not big into adjusting children, but I do adjust children who are 5 years old and above. I use a more gentle technique like activator, where there's no cavitation. So as far as that is concerned, we're mixed in that sense. We're also mixed because we're a multidisciplinary clinic. So this is not just a chiropractic clinic. I have a medical doctor who works for me. I have a physical therapist who works for me, and I have massage therapists who works for me, because not every case is a chiropractic case. Not every case is a medical case. Not every case is a PT case. I think as chiropractors, we need to be more responsible. For instance, a patient may come in and complain of back pain.
Yeah.
Yes, it could be musculoskeletal, but we have to also assess, if that patient is losing weight, or if you see there are different things that may point to, say, a carcinoma, of some sort, then that patient needs to be referred to a medical provider. I don't think that chiropractic, my adjustment is going to cure cancer, So from that standpoint, that is why my practice is multidisciplinary. I feel as if all the providers can work together,
Right.
the patient will benefit from it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it works, at least for, what we do, it works.
What is your ultimate goal to achieve as a chiropractor if you haven't already achieved it?
I think, well, obviously to help people get out of pain, of course, but I think educating the public, is my goal. Because with chiropractic, it's a fairly new profession. So there are lots of negative information about chiropractic. Okay. Now, some of the people who see me, they swear by chiropractic because they get well and they have a good experience.
Right.
But if you have Ray and Jojo down the street and they see something on the internet and they say, oh, these chiropractors, they quacks, and then another person hears that and they didn't do the research. They think, oh, these chiropractors are quacks, but they are quacks in every profession. Chiropractors, medical doctors, whatever, lawyers, So I want to educate the public. What is chiropractic? A lot of people don't even know our background, our education, the curriculum. Most people didn't think we had to take 4 boards to get licensed. Most people don't know that we take all the medical courses that are offered in medical school. The only difference is that the clinical aspect, we do adjusting, the medical doctors, they do, medications and so forth. Although I would say the medical training is a bit more extensive than ours, but it's not, people say, oh, they're not real doctors. They don't go to school, or, it's a lot of crazy information, insane information out there. So my ultimate goal is to basically educate the public what we do. Hey, here's the coursework. Here's the schooling to get a license. This is what's needed. 4 years of undergrad, 4 years of chiropractic school. So it's just education. That's my main goal.
What is some advice you would give a future chiropractor or a chiropractic student?
Like I mentioned before, with the business part or the business side of things, I think most students, they need a reality check. I wish someone told me when I was in school, hey, grades are very important, but also you need to have good credit, if you're going to start a business, or you need to start learning billing and coding if you're going to start a business. So all the we were focused on the academics, of course, but there are other aspects that we need to focus as well, especially if you want to start a business. You got to know billing and coding. You have to understand how marketing works. You have to be able to collaborate with other providers. Medical, like I have medical doctors who refer to me and I refer to them, orthopedic doctors, neurologists, they refer to me, I refer to them. So you have to be able to communicate with other providers. So you have to be marketable. That's something that didn't show us in school, or we didn't have a course for it in school. So I think as a student or students, they should learn that part. Someone needs to go into these schools and tell them, look, focus on your academics, but also focus on this side of things as well.